Women can vote. This was the news on August 26, 1920, with the passage of the 19th Amendment. The right of the citizens of the U.S. to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or any state on account of sex. This was a marvelous accomplishment on the part of the many great women leaders who fought for equal rights. President Gerald Ford stated on February 13, 1976, Susan B. Anthony, with other dedicated women, took to the cause of women's suffrage to state capitals across our growing nation. The irreversible change she wrought led to the ratification of the 19th Amendment. Susan B. Anthony spoke at a Daughters of Temperance dinner on March 1, 1849. Ladies, there is no neutral position for us. If we sustain not this noble enterprise, then is our influence on the side of intemperance? If we say we love the cause, and then sit down at our ease, surely does our actions speak the lie. And now permit me once more to beg of you to lend your aid to this great cause, the cause of God and all mankind. The problem of holding down the cost of living and taxes, that is not a partisan issue. You approach the problems, not on the basis of partisanship, but on the basis of the facts. But what exactly is the difference between women's suffrage and feminism of the past that led to women's rights and the current theme of feminism and women's rights today? We can figure a lot of that out by looking at Susan B. Anthony. Her religious upbringing instilled in her the concept that everyone is equal before God, and motivated her crusade for freedom for slaves and a woman's right to vote, as well as an end to abortion. Quoted in the Revolution on July 1869, Susan B. Anthony stated, "I deplore the horrible crime of child murder. No matter what the motive, love of ease, or a desire to save from suffering the unborn innocent, the woman is awfully guilty who commits the deed. It will burden her conscience in life. It will burden her soul in death. But oh, thrice guilty is he who drove her to the desperation which impels her to the crime." You may be a little shocked to learn that women's rights leaders of the day were against abortion. So much so, many were willing to be put in prison for fighting against it. They have a lot to do with the foundations of the groups like Planned Parenthood, which were racist and eugenics-based organizations, meant to keep the black population low and weed out people who they thought were inferior. But women like Susan B. Anthony were against these evil concepts that were growing at the time. They believed, through scriptural teachings, that all people are created equal by God. They believed not one life is more precious than another. Women like Susan B. Anthony and other women in the movement fought hard against slavery, abortion, and the oppression of women. Today's women movements fight for the opposite of the ideals that the founders of the movement fought for. Today's women fight for causes like free birth control and the ability to kill their own child. There has been a huge paradigm shift in the ideals for the women's movement, and it's not for women's independence like we think. And there are many theories as to why. One can be revealed from a quote from President Richard Nixon in the 50th anniversary of the League of Women Voters on April 17, 1969. "I often say that men do the talking and women do the working in campaigns. Women of the day and today get the job done, and that is a powerful possession in the hands of the opposition." But what is important to remember is that we obtain liberty as women through working for our God-given liberties, protecting our young from harm, and doing this based on scriptural knowledge. These are important facts on how we gained our independence and why we were successful. Another women's suffrage leader was Julia Ward Howe. She was the author of the great song, The Battle Hymn of the Republic. And in the third verse, what she wrote, I believe, describes the entire women's suffrage movement of the day. "I have read the fiery gospel, writ in burnished rows of steel. As ye deal with my contenders, so with my grace shall deal. Let the hero born of woman crush the serpent with his heel, since God is marching on.